The story begins with a dangerous prison in Spain, where inmates were treated very badly, almost like they weren't human. But one day, the leader of the prisoners decided to start a rebellion against this cruel system. During all this chaos, a new guard named Oliver came to the prison. He was supposed to start work the next day, but he wanted to impress his bosses, so he came a day early. He had no idea that this decision would lead to his death. When the prison leader saw the keys in Oliver's hands, suddenly a large piece of the roof fell down and hit Oliver directly on the head. The prison leader had hidden a thin steel wire in his mouth and used it to open his handcuffs quietly. Then he tricked the guard into coming close to him and strangled him with his own handcuffs. Another guard was with Oliver, and he quickly grabbed Oliver and took him to an empty cell, cell 211, but Oliver was already unconscious. The rebellion was getting worse. The prisoners broke the locks and took control of the hallways. Fire started spreading everywhere, and the whole prison was filled with terror. Oliver's colleague didn't know what to do. Should he try to save Oliver or not? But the other guards said if they tried to take Oliver and run, they would both get caught and the prisoners would kill them horribly. So they left Oliver there. Oliver was unconscious, but the prison was full of screaming, fighting, and destruction. The prison director was watching everything on the security cameras, but he didn't know what to do. He was trying to understand what the prison leader actually wanted. After some time, one of the leader's men found Oliver. He saw a stranger in the prison and slapped Oliver hard without thinking. Oliver woke up but was still confused. The prisoner asked him some questions, but when Oliver didn't answer, he locked the door and left. It didn't take long for Oliver to realize that riots had started, and he was trapped in a cell with the prisoners. He quickly took off his shoes and flushed them down the toilet. Then he hid his belt under the mattress and put his wallet in the toilet too. He did this because when new prisoners arrive, these things get taken away from them. He was about to take off his wedding ring when the cell door opened again. This time, the prison leader's man came to get him. Oliver was brought directly to the prison leader. Oliver calmly took out a cigarette and offered the pack to him. Then he said simply that he had come to prison today and a guard had hit him. Oliver didn't show any fear at all. The prison leader was suspicious because Oliver's face looked so innocent, like he had never hurt anyone. But then Oliver answered boldly, "What are you, some kind of mind reader who knows everything just by looking at someone's face?" When he heard this, the prison leader stayed quiet for a few seconds. Oliver's confidence made him trust him a bit, but to make sure, the prison leader asked Oliver to take off his pants. Oliver was very confused by this, but he still did it. This moment saved his life. Prisoners aren't allowed to wear underwear in jail, and by luck, Oliver never liked wearing underwear anyway. After this, the prison leader's doubts were gone. Now all the security cameras in the prison started getting smashed. Oliver knew that if all the cameras were broken, there would be no way to communicate with the outside world. That's why he shouted loudly, "Stop!" Everyone looked at him. Oliver said, "Leave one camera working so we can tell them our demands. If you don't want the prison staff to see you, just cover it with a cloth." The prison leader thought this was a smart idea. After this, Oliver went to cover the cameras himself to gain the leader's trust. He slowly climbed up to the camera and put the cloth in a way that his face could be clearly seen. The people in the control room immediately understood that this guard was working with them. Now only the control room staff and Oliver knew that he was actually a guard, but the prison leader still had some doubts. He took Oliver to the guard who had the keys and asked, "Is this the same guard who attacked you?" Oliver and the other guard knew their lives were in danger, so they both refused to recognize each other, but the prison leader's men kept beating that guard anyway. Meanwhile, the prison director finally called for help from the special forces. A team of special forces quickly arrived outside the prison and got into position. Their orders were simple. Only 2 guards were trapped inside. They wouldn't accept any prisoner demands. They should start the operation right away and take back control of the prison. But then there was shocking news. There were also 3 very important political prisoners in the jail who hadn't been moved yet, and the media had found out about the riots. The whole country was now watching this prison. These 3 prisoners were very important leaders. If anything happened to them, there would be huge riots everywhere. But the prison leader had already captured these 3 and even told the prison management about it through the security cameras. After capturing all 3, the prisoners became much more powerful. All the prisoners were celebrating happily. Sitting in the control room, the prison director realized that things had gotten completely out of control. They called in a negotiator to talk to the prisoners. They also found out about the prison leader's past. 10 years ago, he had also started a rebellion where he killed a guard. Since then, he had been the boss of the prison. The prison leader asked Oliver to help him write down their demands. The demands were simple: make the prison cells better, let prisoners meet their families once every 15 days, and give them proper medical treatment in real hospitals, because doctors only checked prisoners from behind bars. Before this, a prisoner who had a brain tumor was told by a doctor that there was no pain in his head and that he was lying. That poor man died in terrible pain. Oliver didn't think there was anything wrong with the prison leader's demands. He was impressed by his leadership. During their conversation, Oliver told the prison leader that his wife was pregnant and his child was about to be born, but he was stuck in prison. The prison leader felt bad for him. Oliver made up a story that the man he killed was a drug dealer who had killed his younger brother, so he took revenge. The prison leader felt sorry for him after hearing this. Oliver was becoming very close to the prison leader. By then, the negotiator had reached the prison. The prison leader told Oliver to search him. Oliver cleverly searched him and told him where the 3 prisoners were, then gave him their demands. The negotiator said he would send the demands to his superiors and come back. While leaving, the prison leader told him that all his men had been working hard since morning and were hungry, so it would be good to bring some decent food. He also said that Oliver should be allowed to talk to his wife. The negotiator said yes, he could arrange that. It was something he could do, so he would take Oliver out and bring him back. The prison leader agreed, but warned strictly that Oliver should not be hurt. The prison leader was trusting Oliver more and more in this short time. This was a great chance for Oliver, but before the gate opened, they heard a scream from inside. As soon as the prison leader heard the scream, he grabbed the negotiator and told Oliver to go see what happened. Oliver ran to check and found that there was a fight between 2 prisoners. One got hurt on the head and fainted. The Special Forces commander sitting in the control room saw this and thought that someone very important had died. He ordered his team to attack immediately. Oliver quickly understood that if the Special Forces came inside, there would be a bloodbath. He quickly brought those 3 hostages in front of the security camera so the commander could see that everything was okay. As soon as the commander saw them on the camera, he canceled the attack order. The talk started again. Oliver's smart thinking and bravery saved everyone's lives. But the prison leader didn't like that Oliver had come to prison today and was becoming a hero. Oliver understood that the leader didn't want him to be a hero. He raised the prison leader's hand in front of everyone and said that this man had told him to do everything. The prisoners started celebrating and cheering. The prison leader said he did well, but warned that next time if he did something without asking, he wouldn't forgive him. Meanwhile, fake news appeared in the newspapers saying that all 3 hostages had been killed and many people were injured. Oliver's wife, Elena, was eating at a restaurant when she saw on TV that the prison where her husband worked was now on every news channel. She got scared and tried calling Oliver, but his phone was always unreachable. After trying many times, she finally talked to one of Oliver's co-workers who simply said that Oliver was working at another location and maybe his phone was off because of work. But Elena knew something was definitely wrong. She quickly got in her car and drove to the prison. By then, many family members of prisoners had also gathered there. Everyone just wanted to know if their family member was safe. Elena joined that crowd and started asking about Oliver, but no one gave her clear answers. Inside the prison leader was eating with his men. Oliver was listening to the prison leader's old stories with great interest. Then the prisoner who had caused the first fight appeared. The prison leader immediately went to him and punished him because his actions could have ruined everything. He had put everyone's life in danger. Meanwhile, Oliver saw his chance and secretly took the walkie-talkie that was on the prison leader's chair. He was very worried about his wife. He immediately contacted his colleague and said that Elena should be told he was fine. His colleague reassured Oliver and said they had talked to Elena and everything was handled. At that time, the prison leader and his men were watching the protests happening outside on the prison TV. Family members were shouting everywhere, and the cameras were showing everything. The prison leader decided he would have to talk to the prison authorities again, but when he started looking for his walkie-talkie, it wasn't on his chair. He and his men searched everywhere for it, but couldn't find it. The prison leader was wondering where it went, but then Oliver brought the walkie-talkie back and said he had kept it safe because if it fell into the wrong hands, it could cause problems. He was right, so no one suspected anything, but another prisoner was watching everything from upstairs. He immediately went to his room and took out a mobile phone hidden in a small metal box and called a guard he knew. It turned out that this prisoner was actually a spy who worked for the prison authorities. He immediately found out Oliver's real identity. People outside the prison were getting angrier. Some even started throwing stones at the guard office. Seeing this, a guard who was already angry lost control. He quickly formed a team with sticks and started beating people. Everyone started getting beaten for no reason. On the TV screen, Oliver saw his wife in the crowd, looking scared. He quickly asked the prison leader for the walkie-talkie and angrily asked his colleague why his wife was there when he had said everything was taken care of. Then his colleague found out that the media was showing everything live and the prisoners could watch their families on TV. The prison authorities immediately cut off the TV signal to the entire prison. Meanwhile, the tension in the protest got worse. Elena felt pain in her stomach. The crowd started pushing more and more. Elena got hit with a stick, and it was the same angry guard who hit her. With one hit, poor Elena fell to the ground. The media cameras recorded all of this. The prisoners got even angrier when the TV signal was cut off inside the prison. The prison leader immediately picked up the walkie-talkie and demanded that the management send a list of injured people. When Oliver asked about his wife, the prison authorities lied and said everything was fine. That's when the spy came to him. He threatened Oliver, saying that if he didn't listen to him, he would tell everyone his secret. But Oliver already knew everything about the spy. He wasn't scared and turned around to threaten him back. "Listen, I came to prison today, and I'm a guard. They might forgive my betrayal, but you've been betraying them as a prisoner for years." Hearing this, the spy was shocked. He didn't expect Oliver to know everything. Outside, the violent guard was suspended. On paper, it said he had hurt someone in the crowd, but really, the prison authorities were protecting him. Inside the prison leader and Oliver were sitting and talking. The prison leader said he would take full responsibility and that Oliver was just helping him because he had no choice. This would reduce his punishment, and he would soon be able to go to his wife and unborn child. At the same time, the prison authorities sent a list of injured people. The prison leader opened the list and saw there were only 4 injured people listed. He immediately knew that the management was lying to him. He got very angry and said that now they would have to do something serious. He decided he would kill one of the 3 prisoners. Oliver said that if they killed the prisoners they had captured, then the management wouldn't spare anyone. They would immediately attack and kill everyone. Then he gave a new idea. They would just cut off a piece of someone's ear. This would show them they were serious. When Oliver suggested cutting an ear, he was also given the job of doing it. Oliver did it quickly, so the pain would be as little as possible. Soon, that cut ear was sent to the prison management. Now they had no choice, and had to give the real list. But when Oliver read the list, his heart broke. His pregnant wife, Elena, was also on that list. Meanwhile, the spy also contacted people outside and got some information. In that video, the violent guard could be clearly seen hitting Elena. Oliver watched that video over and over again, and his anger grew each time. On one hand, he was risking his life in prison and working for them, and on the other hand, his wife was being beaten cruelly outside. His colleague had also lied to him. In his anger, Oliver demanded that the violent guard be sent inside immediately. Since the prisoners' lives were in danger, the management couldn't refuse. They sent the violent guard alone inside. As soon as he came in, the prison leader showed him a knife and took control of him, moving him away from the cameras. Oliver asked him about Elena, but he wouldn't say anything. When Oliver showed him the video, he immediately looked away. Oliver completely lost his patience. He started beating that guard. Now he was totally out of control. Oliver picked up the walkie-talkie and demanded to talk to his wife. Finally, he learned the whole truth. Oliver's wife and unborn child were both dead. As soon as he heard this, Oliver was completely devastated. He put his head on the prison leader's shoulder and cried. The prison leader immediately ordered that everyone should beat this guard together. But then in his anger, that guard told everyone the truth about Oliver, that he was worrying so much because this guy was actually a prison guard. All the prisoners were shocked, but now Oliver didn't care about anything. Now only one thing mattered to him: revenge. He killed the violent guard in front of everyone. After losing his wife and unborn child, he had no reason left to live. Then he quietly went to cell 211. He took out his hidden belt and thought about ending his life, but he couldn't even do that. When he opened his eyes, he read what was written on the wall: that an old man had died of a headache. This was written by a previous prisoner. Oliver felt that the pain of that prisoner had now become his pain. He left his old identity there and became the real prisoner of cell 211. On the other side of the prison, some people started doubting Oliver, but the prison leader knew deep down that even if Oliver was originally a guard, he had now become one of them. Their destinies had become the same. After seeing the list, the prisoners' anger increased. Seeing what happened to their families, they lost all control. Now the prison authorities couldn't handle the situation anymore. The government stepped in and sent a high-level official to negotiate. He said that most of the demands had been accepted. As soon as he started giving details, Oliver dragged the violent guard's dead body and put it in front of everyone. Looking at the camera, he said that he had killed him. He also said that they would only listen when the Prime Minister himself came on TV and said that all their conditions had been accepted. Now Oliver was completely on the prisoners' side. The prison leader also supported Oliver, either fulfill the demands or come collect the dead bodies. The negotiator had to report all this to his superiors. The prison leader knew that the government wouldn't agree easily. That's why he told his people to move the hostages to different places and get ready for the final battle. That's when the prison management played a very dirty trick. They told the prison leader that Oliver was really a guard, and if he killed Oliver, they would reduce his punishment in return. When the prison leader saw Oliver's file, he was shaken for a moment, but he still went ahead with his plan. All the prisoners were positioned in different places, and then he came to Oliver with his knife. But when he looked into Oliver's eyes, he saw a loyal man full of pain, so he couldn't bring himself to kill Oliver. He gave the knife to Oliver and said he would fight alongside him. Meanwhile, the spy told the management the real locations of the hostages. Special forces planned their attack. Suddenly, the prison TV signal came back on. The news was saying that all the old prison laws had been canceled. Oliver and the prison leader were shocked. Their hearts filled with joy, but they didn't know it was all a trap. The prison authorities did this so the prisoners would calm down. As soon as everyone started celebrating, the spy was doing something else. He killed the prisoners who were guarding the hostages and positioned himself in front of them to protect them. Then smoke bombs were thrown into the prison. Oliver immediately understood the whole truth. He told the prison leader to warn all the prisoners or everything would be ruined. But as soon as they started moving, someone attacked Oliver with a nail gun. The prison leader went to him, but the wound was so deep that nothing could be done. The spy screamed and told everyone that both leaders were dead. Hearing this, all the prisoners put down their weapons. The prison leader just stood there after seeing all this. Everything was over right in front of his eyes. As he wiped away his tears, the spy shot him from behind. The prison leader fell, but tried to get his revenge. The special forces easily took back control of the prison. Oliver also died in pain. After everything was over, Oliver's colleague came to identify his body. He felt ashamed as he opened the door of cell 211. There was a ring lying there. Oliver was an honest and good man, but society took everything away from him. In the end, instead of living as a guard, he chose to die as a prisoner. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.